What's up, everybody? TJ here. Welcome back to the Back in Time channel. I wanted to come on and talk about a topic that is trending right now. This is a very sensitive subject to talk about, so it's a trigger warning. Anybody who's recently lost a loved one, or if you're in a state of grievance, this might not be a particular topic that you might be mentally ready for. But I wanted to talk about it, out of respect for the family and privacies and things like that. I usually don't cover topics dealing with a passing of anyone, but I feel like this specific story is very important to get out because of not only the details but the lack of details that's in this story. So let's dive into what the reports are saying. So the Daily Mail, along with other articles, have posted that influencer Ashlee Jenae has passed away at age 31 after celebrating her birthday and getting engaged on the holiday. She's from Miami. Her real name is Ashlee Robinson, was found unconscious in her villa at the Zanzibar resort, and she was rushed to a nearby hospital where she was confirmed deceased hours later. Now, the Tanzanian authorities are claiming that she passed away by taking her own life, but the family and close friends have fiercely rejected the claim and describing her as full of life. Now, it says that Robinson had jetted to the holiday destination with her fiancé, Joe McCain, to celebrate her birthday on April the 5th. McCain, the founder of crypto fund Asymmetric Financial, had also proposed to her during a safari on the trip. Now, in her last final post, she wrote Chapter 31, and I'm exactly where I need to be. Savannah Britt, a public relations executive and close friend of the deceased, has publicly disputed claims that Robinson passed by taking her life. She also stated in a viral post that anyone who knows Ash knows she would never commit or take her life. We need answers now. Now, the exact location where the influencer was found remains subject to the conflicting reports, with sources claiming that she was inside her hotel room and others saying she was found outside. No official autopsy or results have been released to the public. Now, I'm going to go ahead and read to you a statement that was noted from the family. It says, "Nothing about this loss feels real," explaining that one moment she was celebrating love and life in truly Ashlee fashion, and the next she was gone. The suddenness, the unanswered questions, and the distance from home have made this tragedy even more overwhelming for our family. The statement also read that at this time, there is an active investigation into the circumstances surrounding Ashlee's suspicious passing. Although we have many questions, we are placing our trust in the officials in Zanzibar and are working closely with them as we seek clarity and answers. The statement continued. It says, "Ashlee was deeply loved. She was vibrant, full of life, and had so much ahead of her. Our family is completely devastated, and we appreciate the prayers and compassion we have received as we navigate this unimaginable loss. We respectfully ask that any information not directly provided by our family be treated as unverified and not considered factual at this time." Now, of course, if you want to read more up on that article, you can just go to usweekly.com, or you can go to TMZ or people.com. They report the story as well. But what I noticed is that the family did put hashtag justice for Ashlee, and they also hashtag Ashlee Jenae. Obviously, the family is not buying it, and along with the public is not buying this either. Now, let me just say this. Everything that I'm saying is alleged. I'm not pointing any fingers or accusing anybody of anything. I'm just pointing out what does not look right. And a lot of people are pointing to similar things. And a lot of people are obviously looking at the person that she was with, which is her fiance, John McCain. Now, to be fair, he has not been arrested. He has not been accused of anything. No suspicion of anything of the sort from what the authorities and everything are reporting. But the family, the public, obviously feels that something is not right. So this relationship that she has been with this man, John McCain, I don't know how long the relationship has been, but he is all over her social media. They are a couple. They all over her social media. And I know in the initial reports they said that she was found unconscious, but there are also other reports that's saying something different. Some reports had that she and her fiance John were in an argument and they actually had to be separated. So they had to go to two different, I would assume, villas because they got into an argument. And then they was like, hours later, she was found deceased. So, the internet loves to be detective mode. And if you go on her Instagram, I kid you not, if you look at her Instagram from at least 11 to 20 weeks prior, when she first started, making their relationship public, there were so many comments opposing the relationship. The comments were very eerie. They were almost like they were red flags for her. Let me go ahead and read some of these to you. So one of the comments said this, y'all. It says, "I doubt it, but good luck. I don't know what it is about some black women. They think just because they get a white man, it's like they won a prize or something. That DNA and that bloodline held your ancestors in bondage and in captive for 400 years now. When it's real love, it's when he fight harder for your people than you do your own. If he don't, he's just a bald white man dressed in a nice suit. That's it. That's all." And then another one, y'all, says, "What a dummy. He will off you, one, the slave owner." And then another comment says, it says, "D young queen, you better wake up. Why y'all keep effing with these Edomites?" And then another comment says, "Biracial multiculturalism will be the death of the black community. If black life matters, then it should reproduce itself in the next generation." And it was so many of these comments, y'all. I kid y'all not. It was so many of these comments pointing or directing to her no longer being here in her comment section. And then of course it was, you have to filter through the people with the whole black women shouldn't be with white men race thing. But a lot of these comments, they really stood out. Like after you get to the 11 and 12 week on down, it stood out like they were stop signs trying to get her attention. And it's just so amazing, not in a good way, but how astonishing it was to go back and look on her Instagram and see this stuff. And a lot of people now going on her pages giving their condolences. They're now saying that all the signs were there and that a lot of people in the comments were trying to tell her weeks, months ago. So a lot of the people in the black community think that he has something to do with it, and in my opinion, I believe that something's not right as well. Also, a lot of people in the comments were talking about how they felt like she was basically blinded, like her discernment was blinded. Some person said that it was the money. Maybe it was the money, because on her Instagram she always made eerie postings like, "Well, if this is a dream, don't wake me up," or "living the soft life," or stuff about being kept. And she was just posting about how happy she was. And then the posts that she was making, it was making it seem like things were just too good to be true. And a lot of people were perplexed by that, and they was like, those were the stages. That's how she was allegedly being lured. Some people felt like he wanted to get her out of the country and possibly do something to her, allegedly, but it just didn't sit right with a lot of people. A lot of people were going back through the comments, y'all, and they was like, "Look at him, look at his eyes. He has this sinister look on his eyes." If you really pay attention to it, if you can look and see right now, these are different photos of them together, and you can tell that something is not right with this picture. She seems like she's just on cloud nine, like she is really living a dream, while in his whole look, it looks kind of eerie. Looks like something sinister is behind it, in my opinion. And obviously myself and the public aren't the only one that thinks so, because Masika Kalisha actually posted this on her platform, and she said the following. She said, "That big back, receding hairline, bald, nasty, ugly old Uncle Fester looking white demon strangled that girl and put a noose around her neck like a slave master trying to stage a death. Shake my head. Ain't no black person gonna hang themselves, especially not in no Africa on their birthday. And that's what a lot of people were skeptical about, because everybody was saying this is her birthday celebration. She finally on the trip she always dreamed of, and she just got newly engaged, and she's been posting on her timeline about how great her life is and how she's in her soft era, her soft life and everything, and all of a sudden now she comes up deceased. It's just not adding up, and a lot of people think that he has something to do with it. Just take a look at his face. And again, going back to the comments, not to be on no I told you so type of time, but again, the comments were spot on. This comment says, bloodline gone. For the love of money, they will sell their soul. Then another one says, bet not see you on the news. Black girl went missing on her honeymoon. Then another one said, his look said everything. The look on his face reeks it's just a matter of time. His eyes are so scary. Now those last three are the most recent one. But the ones before those, 22 weeks, 12 weeks, 15 weeks prior to this happening. And so a lot of people are suspicious about it, because what are y'all in an argument about? Now granted, every couple have their little spat, but what are y'all in an argument about that y'all have to be separated? That means that y'all were loud and y'all probably was disturbing people around you, or maybe, it got into another level, or maybe she went and got somebody and said that she wanted to get into another room or something. But it's definitely suspicion around. Now, I don't want to get into any specifics or graphic details, surrounding how she passed, but I will say that, from what's out there, I mean, you could just do a simple Google search or whatever. What's out there are different stories that's out there, and social media is saying a lot of different things too as well. And this is something that's very suspicious. I just don't see someone, going to celebrate their birthday and just getting engaged, having this beautiful lifestyle or whatever, and all of a sudden you just off yourself. That doesn't seem right, especially if your family is saying that's not you. Now, I know some people that's going to argue, like people who have off themselves do this type of stuff all the time. You never know the signs are there. You just never know until sometimes after the fact. But just, for the sake of the family's opinion, they know her better than anybody does. And honestly, I feel like you can't be in two states of mind at one time. You can't be in a state of mind where, oh, I'm so happy. This is the best I've ever been happy. And, I just got engaged and I'm celebrating my birthday and I'm going on this trip. And then in the same mind state that you trying to off yourself to. It just doesn't work that way, in my opinion. You can't be in that headspace altogether. Just one out of those three things are big enough for a celebration. And you mean to tell me after all of this, I'm still finna do this? Now, granted, I know some people, if they plan on doing something to themselves, they want people around that can't stop them. They're going to be somewhere where no one's going to be able to get to them. I just don't believe this story happened the way that it's being reported. I think it's more to it, but I would love to know what you think down below, because these are only my thoughts. Let me know what you think down below of this video. Do you think it was some foul play? Do you definitely think, without a doubt, that someone did something to her? I'm not going to say he did it, but do you have your suspicions? I would love to know your thoughts down below. Also, definitely want to send prayers out to the family for their loss. Want to send our strongest condolences and justice for Ashlee Jenae. Hope that whatever is uncovered comes to the light. Thank you so much for watching.